Hello guys, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Trials of Osiris week 7, I believe this week that this was week 7. Trials of Osiris week 7, Altar of Flame, solo flawless freelance, sorry, my bad. So this week was very frustrating. I think generally across the base, that's like, at least for myself. I'll speak for myself first before I speak for anyone else. So for me personally, this week was very frustrating. There's just so much like goofy things. God, just the back of the map with the DMT flying up in the air with the DMT, back of the map with the pulse or the sniper. I personally just do not enjoy that. Obviously because I'm trying to play aggressively with a hand cannon. And then on top of that, Lorelei Splendor, Helmet, Ariana Vow, and just all types of this crazy, just maldy things. And I think now to speak for other people or my thoughts on what I think other people felt. Obviously I can't speak to them fully, but I think generally across the board, a lot of people did not have fun this weekend. And once again, it's another one of those things where like it doesn't really matter what the map is, unfortunately. It's just gonna be a bad time no matter what in this current meta. Because the meta is just so, at times at least, is so unfun to play when you're playing a team that's using like the best stuff in the sandbox. And I guess you could say that about any sandbox, but right now, to me, it feels like, you know, the sandbox is controlled by like Invis Hunters or Overshield Titans or like, I don't know. There's just so many frustrating things in the current sandbox, and it's so unfun to play against. And I know, you know, and ultimately, you know, if you don't do this for a living, I don't recommend playing it because it's just, unless you enjoy it and you have fun playing it, which is great. But for me, as someone that does it for a living, it tends to not be that much fun for me all the time. And I love Destiny. Like, I love the game. It's just, this week was tough. I think part of that, to move on to freelance, or talking about freelance rather, is because of freelance trials. So there was less solo queues in the normal trials pool. And then obviously we have flawless pool. So there's a pool for Xbox and PlayStation and Stadia, and then there's Steam alone, I believe. And then, you know, then there's flawless pool for all of those pools. For like there's non-flawless pool, and then there's just so many pools, all of the pools, guys, all of them. Every single one of them. And then it's this map and this meta. And it's just, it was so incredibly frustrating. Regardless of that, though, we did get World's First again. This is the third time with Redeemer, Denny, and myself, which is pretty cool, I think. Although most people don't go for it anymore. Like, I don't think it's something that... There's some people, but I think... as well, I don't think it's as impressive anymore because you don't play cheaters, and I just feel like winning games isn't really dependent on like gun skill or who's the better team. And I found myself repeating this over and over again when I record these videos because it doesn't change. Like from week to week, this isn't something that's probably going to change really. It's something we'll see maybe in like a big expansion or like in a seasonal update. Like on May 24th, these things might change, but as of currently, from week to week trials in this season, these things aren't going to change. The game isn't really going to be dependent on what team is the better team. It's more so, to me, on a higher level, what team is willing to use the most overpowered things in the sandbox to the best of their ability. And it's just really unfortunate to me that the game does work that way, because I feel like it's only kind of been that way up until recently. And it's just so, I don't know, to me personally, the things that you have to use that are the best things in the sandbox are just so unfun and uninteresting to use. But that's just my personal opinion about it. Obviously, other people might enjoy it a lot. I just am not one of those people. And I think, well, like I said, definitely see changes to that May 24th, but I'm not sure how substantial those changes will be, and it could possibly just get worse as well. So, and the reason I say that is because we don't know what we're getting exactly. We're getting some new weapons, new exotics, obviously, Solar 3.0 or Arc 3.0, but that's opening up a whole new can of worms, you know, and God knows what's in that can of worms. Those might be like just the most like deadly worms in the universe that just are going to fry you down. But ultimately, I think it also doesn't help that it was this map. Like I said, Altar Flame isn't a horrible map, but it tends to, in my opinion, be more frustrating. It's just one of those maps where people can like sit in the back, and it kind of, I feel like it almost hurts you to push a lot of the times because there's such long and big open sight lines that it's so easy to get caught out in the open on rotations, and that to me is just annoying. I prefer like maps that have more cover and you're able to maneuver around more rather than you know, giant, big desert map that you can like literally sit all the way in the back of your spawn. Also, as well, wasn't zone control trials. For me, that's my preference. Usually, as of recently, not really with Bubble Titans being a thing, because they get their super so fast, and it pretty much gives you a free round win, which wasn't the case just before Witch Queen, when zone control trials would come out. I keep mentioning it every time. Like just before Witch Queen, before Void 3.0, the game was in such an amazing spot, like so good. And I don't think we're ever going to get back there, no matter what happens. Because, I mean, just with Void 3.0 being the way it is, and then I mean, Solar 3.0 or Arc 3.0 is probably going to make it even worse, because there's probably going to be some crazy stuff on that that's either just as good as Void 3.0, maybe better, maybe a little bit worse, but it's just going to add to the pile, I guess. And it's just really unfortunate that it is that way. But, you know, what can you do? It's Destiny 2, you know, there's always going to be something broken. Just the way it goes. So overall, I would say this week wasn't the worst week, though. I think the worst week probably was Exodus Blue. In my opinion, Zone Control Exodus Blue was horrendous. Like, that was bad, really bad. And I don't think I don't think the last week of trials is going to be that bad, but man, was this week a tough one. Out of like all of the weeks, this is definitely one of the tougher ones, I would say, unfortunately. But you know, one thing to mention is this is literally the second to last week of trials for this season, so it's, you know, no surprise that the games are going to be tougher. I also played a cheater, 2 cheaters today. One of the videos for the cheater, or the one cheater, is going to go up on YouTube on Wednesday, because this video comes up on Tuesday. I do these every week after trials. And yeah, the cheater vid will probably come up on Wednesday. It's either going to come up on Wednesday, or I might record a commentary for a Wednesday upload, and instead I'll move that cheater video to maybe when I am taking a trip or when I'm gone. And I'm gonna make a video on that, explaining that in the future, just for you guys on YouTube. Although I feel most of the time people on YouTube that watch this content probably watch my Twitch or my Twitter. Like, they pay attention to those things. But just in case they don't, I'll make a short little video on it explaining that, hopefully. It will probably just be a couple minutes. Anyway, we'll make that the end of the video. I love you guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you got a good summoner this weekend if you played trials, and hopefully you enjoyed trials. Hopefully you didn't feel the same way that I did, which was that it was not that great. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.